Welcome to the podcast coming to you from deep in the heart of Texas, Houston, Texas to be exact, Space City. This is Raul Marquez is Punchy with your host, Lupe Contreras. We're coming to you a little bit later than usual. This is an edition of Punchy After Dark because some people have other commitments. Some people are busy. Some people have priorities, and apparently this podcast just isn't one of them. And let me go ahead and introduce that particular person, a person who uses me as his own personal Google, who calls me from the parking lots of baseball tournaments with him and a bunch of drunk baseball dads discussing questions. Uh, Former 1992 U.S. Olympian, former IBF super welterweight world champion, former Showtime broadcaster, and proud baseball dad, the one and only Raul El Diamante Marquez. Where were you exactly yesterday when you called me from the parking lot?
I was in Center, Texas, bro, by
Wow,
Nacogdoches for a baseball
sounds like
tournament.
a
I told you the regional baseball tournament. But remember Friday, I was in Newark, New Jersey for the show that I did on ESPN Plus. I was working with Christina Poncher and Paulie Malignaggi. Vito Manicki was the main event against the Polish guy, Camille Garzelik. It was a good fight, man. It's a good fight crowd. It's a good undercard. Brandon Lee, Tucker, and you had Tucker against what's the guy that he fought?
Truck Simpson.
Truck Simpson. Yeah, that was a hell of a fight. Got an early flight, like a 5:30 flight, landed here Saturday morning, and then I drove to Center, Texas. Man, I'm worn out, Lupin. I
Mhm.
ain't gonna lie.
I'm
Hey,
not.
but it
I'm
was
not gonna
worth
lie to
it.
you. You look terrible. You look terrible.
Terrible,
You look
man.
sunburned.
Terrible. I need some
You
makeup,
look
huh?
possibly slightly hungover. I wasn't too far from where you were, Center, Texas. I was in Shreveport. It was the kickoff for
Oh, that's
Legacy in the
right.
Making for Destined Champions Promotions. So I was out there, got to stay at Bally's Casino, did a little running, ran across the Red River, ran
How
across
was
the
that?
bridge. So it was good. It was good. It got me out on the street. That is my way of sightseeing when I go places. Is just kind of put on the running shoes, take off running, and
Yeah.
figure out a nice little. I like a nice continuous stretch where I don't
Okay.
have to look for cars, that I have to stop at lights. No, because when you stop and start, it just kind of takes the fun away from it.
Right.
Um, but where is the signing bonus now? They won the tournament. You forgot to mention that they won the
Yeah, they
tournament.
did. So they won 5 games
Liam
over
did
there. They
Liam
won
did he have
five
a good
games.
tournament, or was he just kind of riding the
It was
bench? And,
actually it wasn't like the other tournaments. I'm not gonna say he did great. I'm not gonna say he did bad. He did okay. It's baseball. Baseball is so different. I'm learning a lot. He hit a couple of balls. He uh, made some outs, but it wasn't his best like we've seen him in the past. But it was.
yeah,
Hey,
everybody.
look, we won. That's the important thing. We won the regional title. Now we go to the state championship in where is it going to be in Longview, Texas, in 2 weeks, Fourth of July weekend. So stay tuned.
And you're hitting all those mega markets, man. Longview,
Oh,
Center,
check this out,
Texas.
Lupe. After that is the World Series in Texarkana, Texas.
Man,
I'm
you are
excited.
seeing all the hot spots around. Now,
Yeah.
tell people what was the question that you were trying to ask me last night when you're just a couple of clicks away. You can Google it, and
I
you
know,
don't
but I
have
didn't
to
want to
call
do it.
me.
But
You don't have to call me at 10 o'clock at night
no,
to
I
ask me
called
who
you.
knocked out
Yeah, Kimbo Slice. I
Kimbo
called you
Slice.
because
You're like,
I was talking to somebody. He was telling me about how he was watching an MMA fight years ago, and no, actually he went to it. Uh, and Kimbo Slice got knocked out, and I said, I think whoever I'm gonna call, they know, they will know, and you didn't let me down,
I
bro. Like
knew.
you never let me down. You never let me down.
I knew, and now I'm guaranteed two lunches, even though I still haven't been paid for the
No, it's the
first
same
lunch.
one. No, remember
Oh,
I
it's the
told you.
same. It's the
Yeah, the
same.
same. Yeah, it's the same one.
Does it? Do I get to upgrade as far as the restaurant that we're going to go to,
Bro,
or
times
no?
are hard
Nothing.
right now. I mean, look at all these tournaments, all this money we're spending. I mean, eating out and the hotels, and then they keep coming, bro. Like, they keep winning, and we keep,
What is the
traveling.
nicest hotel? What is the nicest hotel in Center, Texas?
Actually, we stayed at the Hampton Inn. The Hampton Inn. It was
Wow.
nice. It was
Free
nice for
breakfast?
yes, but we
Wow,
didn't take advantage
those
of
are the
it. We
perks.
didn't take advantage of the breakfast. What did you say about the breakfast?
Was it free?
Yeah, but we didn't even take advantage of it. We didn't,
Oh wow, wow.
yeah.
I get it. I get it. Well, you look tired. You look ready to
Ah,
go. So let's get things going.
let's
Let's
go.
move on to the our main part of the broadcast, which it is called the main event. It is the topic that is trending, and it got started, Diamante, last week. A
Wow.
lot
Where
of
do you
weird
see
little
that?
elements. They had the dinner, they had the initial press conference, which was kind of tame, and then they
It's
hit New
getting,
York, and
yeah,
that was where Terrence Crawford kind of really seemed to get into the groove. He really was egging on the crowd, telling the crowd that he was going to make them go home crying after he beats their hero. It was even a little shoving match. Dana got in there in the middle of it, and
yeah,
kind of had to calm things down. What were your impressions of it? So all the details are done. Allegiant Stadium, as we
yeah.
said, it was going to happen there.
We
It's
knew,
taking place
yeah,
there
exactly.
September 13th. It's on Netflix. Um, yeah, so they got it rolling, and they really are putting some effort into it. I really do feel now that they've got the momentum going to where this can be something of a pop culture event. How about you?
I think so. I mean, I'm glad it got a little bit. I mean, you knew it was going to get a little bit heated after a while, especially with Crawford involved and then Canelo being involved with so many mega fights. But I like the atmosphere. I like the way Crawford you know, the way he presented himself, and then the way he was very confident in the press conference. He wasn't intimidated by Canelo at all. Whatever Canelo said, he would have an answer for that, and that's what I like. And I like the little bit of, it's going to happen, Lupe. I mean, it's always going to happen. The pushing and shoving. I think we need a little bit more of that. It's good for the promotion, and it's ready, man. We can't wait. Well, I mean, it's gonna be the fight of the century, like they say, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see that fight.
Some people were a little bit critical. They were like, "Oh, they're having dinner with turkey." I mean, that's part of
Part of the
the
show.
process. It's like
Yes.
going to a business meeting. You may be sitting across from somebody that you're negotiating with, and you may not like it, but it doesn't mean that there isn't going to be a competitive nature to this fight. You can be all business and still take the guy's head off when it comes September 13th.
Lupe, I'll give you a good example. Look at me and you, the relationship that we have. We have a podcast together. We go out together and eat or whatever when we do. We've done shows together, but the times that we sparred, Lupita, how many times have you really, really wanted to kick my ass? Every time. But guess what? Every time I
Every
failed you.
single time.
Every time, exactly.
No, there
Just
was a couple of times where I had you going. Even your dear wife Jeanette said that you would wake up in the middle of the night, and what would you say as you're getting out of bed because your body is hurting? What was the phrase you would say?
that body shot that Lupe hit me with, or something. I
No,
don't
you
know.
would
I don't
say you
even
would say
remember.
fucking Lupina.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay,
Because
yeah,
you felt me that particular day. You'd say fucking Lupina. He got me.
yeah. But
Anyway,
I'm a
back to
warrior.
the
I'm a
back to the
warrior,
real
bro. Come on,
bouts.
I'm a warrior. Give me
Back to the
credit,
real
bro.
bouts. It did seem like the first press conference was a little bit tamer. I don't know if it was the fact that I really like what they did when they went to New York. They did it at
Yeah.
Fanatics Fest there in front of a live crowd. That does seem to get people a little bit more amped up. It's kind of like sparring in the gym, and then when you spar in front of a live crowd,
Or maybe it
it,
was the
it takes it
American
to the
crowd,
next
though.
level. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was an American crowd. It
I
was a
think so.
fight crowd that was really into it.
Yeah.
Um, there were some few things said. Canelo. Obviously, I love it when Canelo speaks in third person. He's like, it's different when you're outside the ring, but when you're in there with Canelo, it's very
Yeah.
different. What I really enjoyed too was, like I said, I like the fact that Terrence Crawford is feeding into that bad guy. He wants to be the bad guy in this one. He said he's going to send the Canelo fans home crying, and he also said there's not going to be any running. The only thing I'm going to do is I'm going to run upside your head. What do you think about
Oh,
those
I
quotes?
saw that. Yeah, that's man. That's what I'm saying. I love that confidence, and he's serious about it. I mean, he really means it. I mean, when I see him talk, I just see that, like, to him, he's not scared of Canelo, man. You've seen other fighters where they're intimidated. You can tell they're scared of Canelo, but man, Crawford is not scared of him at all. And when he says that he's gonna make the fans cry and all that, hey, we talked about it. I really think Crawford has a really good shot at beating Canelo. I'm picking Crawford to win, man. I'm picking Crawford to upset Canelo, and then when he says that a lot of Mexican fans are going to be crying, or fans of Canelo, it's going to happen, man. You're going to just watch and see it. I can't wait.
When the fight was initially announced, and I had seen Canelo's performances lately, I was
Yeah.
very much believing that Crawford would win a pretty decisive unanimous decision, or maybe even a split decision. I'm going to be honest with you, man. The more I see of this fight, I see something in Canelo that lets me know that he's going to come going for it. He's going to go for it. I think there's a lot of pride on the line. It's one of those things where if he loses this fight, I think it kind of derails and puts a bit of an asterisk on everything that he's done before. So I keep going back and forth, man. I keep trying to stick with my initial prediction of Crawford winning a decision, but I also see a fire in Canelo, man. I wouldn't be surprised if this fight went
Crawford catches
became
him.
a bit of a war. Not Crawford catching him,
Yeah.
Canelo catching Crawford.
Oh, really? Okay. Because you think no, you know what? No, I think Crawford is just too smart, man. I think Crawford might even punish him more because Canelo wants this fight so bad. Like he was really trying to prove, look, man, I'm the star. I'm the guy. I'm the guy that knocks people out. I'm the show. You get this payday because of me. It's me, 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 me. And I think that might cause Canelo to run into some of Crawford's punches. Being frustrated, trying to get a Crawford. That's what I think might happen. But I don't see Crawford stop. I mean, Canelo stopping Crawford, man. I really don't. I really don't, Lupita.
When they were exchanging words back and forth, Canelo directly spoke to Turkey and he said, "Turkey, get the smallest ring possible.
Yeah.
Get the smallest ring possible. Uh, if there's nowhere for Crawford has never been a runner. He's been a mover, but he moves
Right.
strategically.
Exactly.
He works angles. He kind of pivots and does things. He's never been a guy to run away from anybody.
No.
Um, I think if the fight stays in close quarters, I was at first thinking it would be an easy decision for Crawford. Now I think that even if he does win, he's going to come out of this fight pretty battered.
Pretty bad in what kind of way, Lupe? When you say Crawford's going to come
I,
out
I,
pretty.
bel I believe Canelo is going to attack the body. I think Canelo is going to take it to another level, uh, and I do believe he's going to put Crawford into some uncomfortable positions. And if Crawford, I don't think Crawford is going to trade, but I do believe there will be opportunities for, especially that quick left hook from Canelo. I think if it
Well,
finds its mark with anybody, it could cause him some issues.
I think Canelo's gonna try to put. Obviously, that's the game. He's gonna try to use his power and his strength, his big, because if he's supposedly the bigger dude, he's gonna try to do that. He's fought bigger guys too. Of course, he's gonna try to put him in situations like that. But I don't think Crawford is gonna let him. I don't think it's gonna be that easy for Canelo to do that. I think Canelo uh, is gonna be worried, man. I think he's worried already because Crawford, he knows what Crawford's about. Crawford's special. I think Crawford will keep turning him. I think Crawford will engage with him at times when he feels it's safe to engage. I think Crawford will wrestle with him and keep turning him. Just keep giving him those little side steps to the right, those little subtle steps to the right or to the left, and like not quite stand in front of Canelo, but always moving at angles, to the right or to the left, and at the same time throwing combinations and using his long arms and his jab, like controlling the distance with his jab, even just putting it out there and trying to frustrate Canelo. And I believe that's what's going to do the speed. And when he's so explosive, the combinations, the movement, his long arms, a combination of all that is going to give Canelo a lot of problems. I don't think he's ever fought somebody. I mean, probably the closest one probably be Floyd Mayweather, but that was many years ago when Canelo was still young. And that's what he's gonna have to deal with, man. He's gonna have to deal with a lot of things inside the ring with Crawford. Not just one thing, like he's fast or he's strong, he's power, he's gonna come forward. He's gonna deal with a lot of things and he's gonna have to figure them out. And I don't think he will.
What my knowledge as a boxing observer tells me is that I believe that's what's going to happen with what you said. But
Yes.
me as a fan, I think I'm also kind of falling into the promotional bullshit. The
Right.
hype behind it, the talk,
But don't we
and
always see that? Don't we always see that about
yeah, we,
Canelo?
we do always see it, but it's also
Yes.
like I said, first and foremost, I am a fan of the sport,
Right.
and I think with the way the promotion is being built up, and we just started, we're just in the infancy of it. We've seen the things that they're bringing in. They've got interviews with Tom Brady, with Shaq.
The feel,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, it's just going to get even bigger and bigger. They're doing interviews with Pierce Morgan, where Pierce Morgan is really asking some some goofy questions. Could you kill me in a street fight?
Yeah,
What's your favorite kind of sandwich? So it's bringing in all these people from pop culture to get this fight hyped up.
yeah.
Do you think ultimately, once September 13th comes around, it is going to be? I'm starting to believe it. I think it will be the biggest fight, at least of the
Oh,
past 25 years. But the past 25 years, everybody's going to watch it come Friday afternoon. No matter where we go, no matter what we do, people at the mall, people at the store, people who know you, all your friends are going to be asking you what's going to happen tomorrow night on Netflix.
I think so, man. I think so. I mean, it's on Netflix. It's not on pay-per-view where you have to buy that. I mean, it's you remember Netflix, you're gonna be able to watch that fight. I think it's a worldwide fight. I mean, and then with Dana, promoting it, Dana with the whole, trying to bring the UFC fans into watching this fight. I mean, there's gonna be a lot of UFC fans watching it because of Dana. So yeah, it's a worldwide promotion, and I think the world, not only the boxing world, I think just the world in general is going to come to a stop that day to watch Canelo and Crawford go at it.
And we move on to topic number 2. Unfortunately, last week also the news came back that the B sample came back
Huh?
as an F. It
Uh-oh.
failed. It failed.
Uh-oh.
It was
Don't
it was
surprise me. Don't surprise me.
it very rarely does the B sample come back and exonerate a boxer. So this one, it came back again for exogenous levels of testosterone, which obviously I told you I had to look it up. Exogenous just means it came from outside of the body. It wasn't created internally. So either came through, you ingested it, you
Yeah.
injected it, you consumed something contaminated. The fact that this bout took place in Riyadh, it's going to be under the rules of the British Boxing Board of Control. I know they do things a little bit differently. I don't know exactly how strict they are, like Nevada or New York.
Yeah.
But what's your prediction? What do you think happens with Munguia?
I think they should give him a nice hefty fine. I mean, and he's got to pay for his. I mean, what he did. I mean, he needs to know that he was wrong, Lupina, and you don't do stuff like that. And give him a nice suspension too. I don't. I mean, I don't make those decisions, but I know in the past, some guys been suspended for a year, and they gave him a nice hefty fine. Let them know that, hey, man, if they think about doing that again, I mean, they're like, oh man, I got suspended for a year or a year and a half or whatever. The fine was 100,000, 150,000, whatever. But I think he needs to pay the price.
They haven't declared it a no contest yet, but that seems like the most logical choice,
Oh,
right?
that
You make
too,
it a no
yeah,
contest.
yeah,
What is kind of good, Suras gets fight number 3. He gets a nice little payday out of this if they choose to go that particular route. So
yeah.
it goes to no contest. Do you think Suras should take a fight in the meantime, or just kind of sit around and wait, see what the suspension is, and try to I guess capitalize off the
Absolutely.
misfortunes of Munguia?
What's the saying? If it makes dollars, it makes sense. Why risk that? Wait around because it's about making paydays, man. It's a business, and I mean, why risk? Find someone else if you could get another payday with Munguia. Why not? That's what I would do.
Speaking of the British Board of Control, the upset of the week took place in the UK. It was Francisco Chihuas Rodriguez out of just outside of Monterrey, Mexico. He went up and took on the undefeated Galal Yafai, a guy who was 9-0 at the time, and just actually put an absolute whooping on him, man. He did almost everything.
Yeah.
If you look at the stats, I think he landed twice as many punches as
Mexican
Yafai.
style, baby. Mexican style.
Mexican style
Relentless,
just brought the
high
pressure,
volume. Yeah. Power shots. I mean, dropped them in the 12th round. Yeah, it was a good fight. It was a very good fight. It was a good win. It was a title eliminator. Right now, he gets to fight the unified champion.
It actually made it was an interim belt, so he becomes the WBC interim champion,
right, but
and
now
it puts him in position.
Yeah, for the unified, right? Unified champion.
It puts him in line to fight for the
Yeah.
unified champion. Also, I think the current champion in Japan right now is Kenshiro Taraji. He's the WBC and the WBA.
Yeah.
I think there was some talk of him possibly moving up, and if he does move up, I believe the BC is going to make Rodriguez the full champion. So it puts him in the position that, if he doesn't get the fight, the current champion, what other options are out there for him? I mean, it's a small division. It's a division where he's obviously going to have to go to Asia somewhere,
Yeah,
maybe another place in Latin America, the Philippines. What do you see for him?
Well, I think I mean with those small guys, I mean any opportunity out there that there's not a lot of there's a lot of big names. For me, like I would just try to fight the unified champion Taraji, because that's where it gets to capture another belt. And business wise, I mean, especially in the white in the smaller weight classes, that's try to get another belt and he wants to make money and then move up after that. I think that would be the route to go. Try to fight the unified champion Taraji.
He's the guy who he had a crack at the title before against Ioka, also in Japan. He felt a little bit short. What do you think happens to fighters? For example, you got fighters that do get that crack at the world title, and when they don't get it, it sort of breaks them. It almost makes them feel like, I went to the elite level of the sport, and it makes them question either, am I elite? I made it to the mountaintop, and I just wasn't enough. What do you think a fighter like Rodriguez did to maintain that momentum, maintain that desire to go into enemy territory? Because Yafai
Right.
was the favorite guy. Yafai was the guy who,
Yeah.
in some interviews, he even seemed to be looking past Rodriguez, where he kind
Rodriguez,
of was
yeah.
kind of a bit of an afterthought. So, what do you think goes on there for that particular fighter?
No, I mean for Rodriguez, I mean he should be motivated after a big win like that. I mean, and plus his business, if there's not that opportunity is not there, then he's trying to take another fight, to stay busy. And sooner or later, you know how this business goes. Somebody might get hurt or somebody might drop off because they can't. A lot of things happen in boxing all the time, Rubina. So if you're in it, I mean, why you shouldn't give up. You just keep yourself in the gym, keep yourself busy, keep training, and keep it going.
We Speaking of Japan, we go over to Japan. The man who was basically the sleeper in the
Yeah,
welterweight division, Brian Norman Jr. had, I mean, what you would call knockout of the year candidate. He absolutely dropped a bomb
brutal.
on brutal shot on
Yeah,
Sasaki. I mean, it came from basically uh, left field. I mean, he was setting it up. He threw a
right.
beautiful shot. Even Norman himself said that when it landed and he saw the opponent go down, he was scared there for a while that perhaps this guy wasn't getting up.
Man, it was nasty, Lupina, like a brutal left hook and just laid Sasaki. That was his name, Sasaki. I mean, knocked him the crap out. I mean, he it was bad. And it's funny because it's not funny. I mean, just the way you see, kids develop. I remember when we had Brian Norman. I had him early in his career, Lupe, on Showbox. And I really didn't think much about him. I mean, he was 18 years old when I saw him. And I'll tell you what, man, he has developed into a really, really good fighter. He's strong. He's got power. He's a good boxer puncher, and he's the guy right now at 147 pounds. He impressed me. He's come a long way. He's 28-0 with 26 knockouts. He's older. He's 24 years old now. I mean, when I saw him, he was 18 years old, man. But I would have never thought he fought like twice on. I think one time on Showbox or maybe twice on Showbox. And like I said, I mean, I saw like a long, thin, young kid, skinny kid, but I never thought much of him. And look at him now, like he's really put the work in, the time in. You can see he's been learning and getting better. And look at him now. Look at him now.
Look at him now. No, he's the
Yeah,
guy that really, to be honest with you, he's the forgotten man in the welterweight division. I don't think most
yeah,
people even knew that he was a champion, and that's no disrespect to him. He just kind of been flying under the radar. Everybody
right.
else was talking about Ryan. They were talking about Rowley. They're talking about
The
Theo
big
and
names.
Haney.
Yeah,
Yeah, the big names, the big marketable names, the guy's making a lot of noise. But you know what? I saw some interviews with him. The guy's got a great personality, man. He can speak. He's very genuine. He's fun.
well, he's
Uh,
got to put himself out there. I mean, because he doesn't have like you said, the big name like Rowley, Ryan Garcia, the big names right now.
but he's
For those
likable though.
guys,
He comes across very likable. You saw him when
yeah,
when he showed concern for his opponent. He knelt down in front of Sasaki when he saw that he was having some issues. Oh, out of those big names that are out there, who do you think best matches up with him, and who would be his toughest test?
I think. I mean, well, you got Rowley, you got who else did we talk about? Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney. I
Theo
mean, I just what's that?
with Theo.
Theo,
Theo's out there as well.
Yeah, yeah. I just don't think those guys are gonna want to fight him right now, Lupina, because he's in that spot where it's like, you know, uh, big risk, low reward. You know how they say that, and I think he's still got to keep building his name, talking more. Uh, making performances like he did the other day against Sasaki. And wait, man, you gotta wait in line. You know how it is to get to those level of fighters like Ryan Garcia and Rowley, Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez. I mean, it takes time, takes a lot of work, and I think he's not there yet. Like it's too much risk for those guys and it's low reward. So he's got to be become more marketable. And I think if he gets there, then maybe he'll get those fights. Maybe a guy like Alexis Rocha. That's a guy that's up there ranked. He's got a name. Maybe fight a guy like that and knock him out, beat him well, and keep building his name. In that way, he'll get to the bigger fights.
And we move on to the co-feature. A fight that I'm working this particular weekend coming up in Wichita, Kansas. It is the return of the Bronze Bomber, Deontay Wilder. This fight has been kind of flying under the radar, not getting a lot of attention. Maybe that's why they got me doing the ring announcements, since I make things disappear. But it's taking place in Wichita at the Coke Arena. It's going to be on BLK Prime. Wilder, he's coming off, some tough times. It's
very
fighting a guy by the name of Tyrell Herndon. Tell me what you see. Do you think this is a good get-right fight for Wilder? And what are some of the possibilities that are out there for him if he does win here?
Well, honestly, I mean, this is what I think, Lupin. I think Wilder should be honestly retired. I mean, I think he had a successful career. He was an Olympian. He was a world champion. He made a lot of money. His last fight, he got knocked out by Zhang. And then, of course, those two fights by Fury, he got stopped too. And then Joseph Parker. I don't think he should be fighting. He hasn't been really that busy. I mean, ever since 2020, he's only fought once a year. So, um, the guy that he's fighting, Hernan, like I think he's the perfect opponent. Obviously, his last fight he got knocked out by Richard Torres. The Olympian Richard Torres got knocked out in 4 rounds. I mean, he should beat a guy like that. I want to see how he comes back. Let's wait and see. How he looks in the ring with a guy like Herndon. It's a great opportunity for Herndon to fight someone like Wilder. Because I think Wilder is not the same anymore. I think honestly, I think he's shot, man. But let's see what happens. Let's see what happens in that fight, and then we'll go from there.
As you mentioned, he is on a bit of a bad skid. He's lost 4 out of 5, 3 of those by stoppages. He did have that 1-round knockout against Hellenius, where he caught him with that that magic shot that he's got. He's one of the most feared fighters in heavyweight division and probably in all time with just that power shot. He has that eraser that sometimes he's probably depended a little bit too much on, thinking that at some point in the game he's always going to be able to land it. And when he hasn't been able to land it, he has had some issues. Now, let's say he does win. He does win. What are some possible matchups out there for him? The one name that kept popping up in my mind was a guy like Joe Joyce. Both of those guys have been on a bit of a skid. Both of them, showed so much promise at one particular point. And they're both very, power punch heavy hitters. It seems like that would be a good fight if he is able to get past Herndon coming up this Friday night.
That's two knockout artists, two guys that probably need each other. They're there for each other at the right time. But like I said, man, look, I don't want to jump the ship that fast. I want to see how he looks with an opponent like we talked about in Herndon. That he's the right guy, but I think Herndon is going to be motivated. It's a lifetime of an opportunity for him. And let's sit back and not go too far up ahead, man. I want to see Wilder's. I want to see how he acts, how he reacts in the ring, and when he gets hit, and just certain things. I want to see his legs. I want to see his body. I want to see his speed. I just want to see his reaction when he gets hit, and then we'll go from there.
The following night in Anaheim, California, there's Jake Paul facing off against the son of the legend, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. This fight, it's a fun fight. What more can you say? Yeah. You got Chavez Jr. out there. I do believe if Chavez Jr. has been taking this seriously, it is the exact level of opponent that Jake should be fighting. If you do the boxing math, Chavez lost to Anderson Silva. Jake beat Anderson Silva, but it's a very different style. Anderson's more of I don't want to call him Mayweather-esque type fighter, but he's more of a guy that, kind of touches you, and then tries to land the big shot, which he
Right.
wasn't able to do. Chavez is more of a come forward, brooding type fighter, and he's also a big dude, man. Chavez is
He
probably
is a
my
big guy.
height, if
Yeah.
not a little bit bigger. I've been next to Jake. Jake is smaller than me, maybe by an inch or
Mhm.
so. Um, and I think it's one of those fights. Like I said, it all depends very much. So a big if. If you've got a motivated Chavez Jr. or Chavez Jr. who is in shape and who has taken this fight seriously, it can be a long night for Jake Paul.
It's a really good test. Like you said, it's a good fight, for Jake Paul, being that, the guy's, I've always said, he wants to be a boxer, and he just doesn't show up, because he's a social media star. I mean, the guy, he puts in the work, man. He hires the right sparring partners. He runs. He does a full training camp. I mean, he's a student of the game. He loves the sport of boxing, and of course, with those kind of pages that he makes, of course, he's gonna love it more. But him and Chavez. I mean, look, Chavez is 39 years of age. That's one thing. He's gone through some, you know, tough, rough times. Drug and alcohol abuse. I guess he's out of it. He hasn't been that busy in his career. He's been, I believe, it's been about a year that he fought, and he fought a mixed martial arts guy, Uriah Grant or Uriah Hall. That's his name. And then before that, he was off for 2.5 years. So Jay Paul, they know what they're doing. Obviously, it's a good fight for him, but Chavez, he's gone through a lot. Now, St. Chavez has gotten ready. He had a great camp. He got himself in shape. Let's see what happens. Chavez needs to, as soon as the bell rings, Chavez needs to let know Jay Paul, look, you're in here with a real fighter. Test him in ways. Land some big shots, see how he reacts, push him back, keep him a busy pace. That kind of stuff. And Jake, he's the younger guy. He's 28 years old. Use his legs, move around, jab him, bait him in, try to catch him coming in, try to take Chavez into the later rounds. Because Chavez hasn't gone rounds like that in a while. I mean, like I said, his last fight, I believe he was 6 rounds with Uriah Hall, a guy that's not really a boxer. He's a mixed martial arts guy. So I think that the younger guy, for me, especially with a guy like Chavez that's 39, and he's been out of the ring, not been consistently fighting, and him going through all the problems he had. I think takes a lot of toll, man. They never come back the same. They want to come back, and lucky for Chavez, I mean, look who his dad is. I mean, he's able to come back and secure a money bag like that, because he's got the name. Look who his dad was. That's the only reason he's able to come back and fight. Someone like Jake Paul, social media guy, and make. I'm sure he's making at least $5 million for that fight, Lupe. So good for him, but. I don't see him winning. I see Jake Paul pulling out a decision.
So let's say that Chavez Jr. does lose.
Ah,
It pretty much
that's
needs to be
it.
the swan song, right?
No
He's
mas.
gone. He's out of there. If he
Yeah.
does win, obviously that sets up a rematch with Jake Paul.
Get another
Is
payday,
that
another money back.
the most likely situation that you would see happen there?
Oh yeah. So if Jake Paul wins, I mean that's a great win for him. Social media guy. I mean he's got a lot of followers. That'll be a really really good win for him. Now, if he loses, he's still a big star because he sells tickets. The whole thing with the following. Talking about Jake Paul, he could still fight, and he's young. Now, for Chavez Jr., if he loses, no mas. I mean, he needs to remove himself from boxing before he really gets hurt. But if he wins, then he secures another money bag. Why not? That's probably most the likely scenario that will happen.
An interesting fight on the undercard. You got El Zurdo Ramirez. He's taking on Uniel Dorticos of Cuba.
Yeah.
He's defending his cruiserweight title. Give me your take on that particular fight. It's a pretty interesting fight, I think.
Yeah, it's a mandatory. And Dorticos, he was a champion. He had the IBF and WBA titles. He's a rugged, tough Cuban, 39 years of age. He's known for his power and his strength. He's gonna come out. He's gonna bring it. Besurdo. He's been in there with some. His last two fights. I mean, his performances were great. He went 12 rounds. I can't remember the names, Lupe, of the guys he fought, but he went 12 rounds with both, and he looked exceptional. I mean, he looked really good. I believe he's the better boxer. He's got a good punch. He moves around good. But Torticos is going to be in there, try to knock him out, man. That's his game. That's his thing. He's strong and he comes forward. He knocks you out. But Zurdo said, they asked him for a prediction. Zurdo wants to knock him out, and I think he will. I think Zurdo gets him in the later rounds.
Dortigos has been a guy who, like you said, he's comes from that Cuban school of boxing. He when he fights opposition that's below him, he does very well. When he's taken that step up, he's lost to Mighty's Brady's as well as Murat Gasayev. It seems that when he does go up to that top tier of opposition, he has a lot of trouble. Is that what you're expecting? That Zurdo is just a couple of levels above Dorticos, and he should be able to handle it.
Exactly. You know how they say levels, and that's the difference. And Dorticos, you gotta understand, he's 39 years of age too, man. He's up there. So his game is the power and the strength. And when you say the Cuban school of boxing, he really doesn't fight like the Cuban that moves around a lot. I mean, he is 39. I mean, but his style is more, his strength and power. That's his game. And but I don't see him. I don't see him doing that with El Zurdo Ramirez.
And we move on to my favorite part of the podcast. It is the undercard, the part where I like to make Raul uncomfortable. We're going to revisit a segment that we've done already, Diamante, where we talk about, as I mentioned, there's only 4 subjects that you can discuss with you: boxing, money, sex, Raul Marquez. So we're going to visit the category that we've done before, which I call, it's dancing leads to relationships lead to love, and it ultimately turns out to be, Noches de Perreo. So what I've done is I've gone on the internet. You're sweating already. Look at you. You're sweating already. You have no idea what I'm going to ask.
What are you going to do, Lupina?
What I've done is I've gone to the internet and I looked at some questions that guys have been asking about dating advice, relationship advice. And this is the part. We're 2 guys that we put the L in love because we've lost and we've learned. And this is where we take the blows. We've taken the blows for you. Okay. So you don't have to. I'm looking at these questions that I have set up for you. Let's go to question number 1. I found these very interesting because either I found myself in similar situations, or I know
have to answer. No, it's up to me. I don't have to answer, right?
You don't have to answer, but this is a public service, Diamante. We're trying to help other people.
We're trying to teach.
We're trying to use our life experience to help others to make good decisions when it comes to relationships. So the first question,
they got to start liking and subscribing, bro. Come on, we need more.
They do. The question is, I am dating a woman who's separated and she's asking me to help pay for her divorce. What should I do?
Oh my God, dude, that's a good one, dude.
First of all,
nah. Hey, cut her off, bro.
If you're dating a woman who is separated and she's already getting into another relationship, that should give you an idea that she's a woman who sees men as tools. You're a tool. She's got a problem. She's using you to help solve that particular problem.
Go on to the next one. Forget it, man. She's out. Fuera. That's it, man. You don't need that.
And the problem here's the problem that happens is maybe the guy thinks that he's going to be different, that, obviously the woman's probably telling him that she's with the worst guy ever. This guy treated her poorly. This relationship was bad. Now that I found you, you're a good man. You're a good guy. You're the prince.
Hey, check this out. The other guy didn't work. He's just laid on the couch, wanted to watch TV. But you're a hard worker. You will wake up every morning and go to work. But just, you know what? Pay for my divorce, and it'll be so much better. So we could finally be together, juntos forever. Come on.
And you're only getting one side of the story, as they say. There's 3 sides to every story.
Yeah.
3 sides. There's her side, there's the ex's side, and then there's the truth. Because people try to tell the story their way and they try to make things happen. But I would suggest, first of all, say you're not going to pay. Tell her you're not paying for the divorce and see what her reaction is. That's going to let you know what type of woman you're dealing with. Are you someone that she truly cares for? Or are you somebody that, like I said, she's just using as a tool? And the fact that she's going from from a relationship that isn't quite over yet, already into another one, let you know that
I would
probably this isn't the one you want to
I
be
would
into.
love
So
to see that reaction of that imaginary couple, like whoever these people are, Lupe. I would love to see that reaction uh, to what she would say if he gave her an answer like that. Like what do you think her reaction would be? I
I think it
mean,
would be over. It would be over. She would
yeah.
she would say he's not supporting her, he's not helping her out. She would turn it into uh, you're just like him, or I need to focus on myself, and we can't be involved now. And
Hey,
that's
Lupe,
the way it would go.
you got another
From
job,
my
man. You could do some marriage counseling, bro. You're
this
good
is
at
this is
that.
a public service. We're doing this for
Yes.
the people who are subscribing, as we mentioned.
Do it
If
for
you
La
haven't
Raza,
subscribed,
do it for the people, do it for whoever, huh?
do it for our fellow men, so they don't have to take those blows. We've taken them for you already. Question
Okay.
number 2. It says, "Oh, I love this one. I asked my girl if mine is the biggest one she's had, and she avoided the question. What does that mean?"
Oh, that means you're fucked, bro. Hey,
Okay,
that's
first
the
of all, here's the rule. Here's the
oh
rule.
my god.
If the first time that she sees it, she doesn't say, "Oh my God, that is the," or she shows some type of being impressed, it's not the biggest one that she's seen. Plain and
Or maybe
simple,
she
right?
didn't hear. Maybe she didn't hear right. You gotta ask her
Well,
again.
it's not about hearing. He didn't say, "Have you heard anyone bigger?" He says, "Have you seen?"
Have you seen?
Unless she's visually impaired, and
That's what
then
I was trying to.
she's gonna have to make contact with it at some point or
She'll be
another.
like, hey.
So yeah,
No,
first
see,
of all,
like,
the
uh,
guy, you shouldn't be asking that type of question. Don't, like they say, if you don't like scary answers, don't ask scary questions. Because one,
probably
like I
the
said,
guys.
if
Well,
you
my
didn't get
guy
that initial
asking
reaction,
if a guy's asking something like that, Lupe, like the guy's asking a question, right? I mean, that's not he's not confident.
yeah,
Yeah,
like I said, my rule, it's the biggest one in the room. So
that's it.
it's the biggest one you got. That's it.
It don't
My
matter.
advice, yeah, for him, the answer is, yeah, it's not the biggest one she's ever seen. My advice for her is, even if it's not the biggest one, compliment it somehow. Maybe, compliment its positivity. Maybe it's not.
But it's beautiful.
It's beautiful. It does things
It looks like
right,
a the what do you call it? The
like the
when you do
Washington
the
Monument.
yeah, or no, you know when they do the skeleton, the human what is help me out a little bit of the human
Like the sculpture, like David,
sculpture,
or the
yeah.
anatomy.
The anatomy of it looks beautiful. It looks like it should be on there because it stands out. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Just
or
try
just
to
tell them
hype
it's
them up.
just tell them it's perfect. You're like, the other ones were just too big. They hurt. This one was
Something.
perfect. It
Yeah.
was
There you
perfect.
go.
Just give him a compliment. Make him feel
Yeah.
good about himself, and you guys should be all right. Here we go to question number 3. It says, my girlfriend and I have been dating for 6 months, and she gave me an ultimatum: let her move in, or it's over. Advice, Diamante.
Let her move in, or it's over.
Yeah, they've been dating for 6 months, and she kind of
6 months, but
hasn't.
just 6 months, man. Let it be over, dude. I'm mean. I shouldn't be mean. Is that being mean, Lupita? Man, I don't think so. Come on, 6 months. She's trying to move in already. Like it's like she was in a rush to look for somebody to be, you know, take care of her or something. I don't know. 6 months, bro.
Well,
That's
it's
not
one of
enough
those
time.
things too, where I think the answer to every ultimatum should always be no, because you're going to be under duress. You're making a decision under pressure. It's somebody that
Is it in your
that's supposed.
budget to handle that? Do you make enough salary to handle someone else living with you? And who's going to be paying the bill? Are both of them paying the bills together, or just
I don't know. I don't know. I
okay?
think it's more of a, for women. It's not so much. I mean, for some women it is. For some women, it's more of a convenience thing. But I think for others, it's more of a commitment thing. To her, it would be, when you get those uncomfortable questions from women, where they're like, "Where is this going? Where do you see our future? Where do you see yourself in 5 years?" Blah blah blah.
Right.
And I think that's more what this is, rather
Well,
than
but I think
an
after
economic
six,
situation.
yeah, but I think after 6 months, I mean, usually, you know how now people want to live together before they get married, right? There's a lot. I mean, I think that's what it seems that's happening. People they want to live together before they get married, but to live like 6 months into the relationship and you want to already live together, I think it takes a little bit more time than that, Lupe, to really want to have somebody. living in your home, or vice versa. You know, even if the girl has her own place and the guy wants to move in. I mean, let's be fair. What if it's the other way around? 6 months, bro? Come on.
Well, first of all, I should be inviting you to come live with me. You shouldn't just say, "Hey, guess what? I'm living at your house." You know, or you know how it happens. Like you're dating somebody, and
Yeah.
slowly they're kind of sneaking stuff in.
Well,
You know,
yeah. Or they're
like
there every day, and they want
or they're there every day, or they start bringing they have their own food in the refrigerator. Or the worst is when they start decorating your place. When they start buying.
that's never happened to me. Yeah, but I mean, I've heard of that, but that's never happened to me. Uh, I don't know. I think 6 months is.
Too
I'm trying
soon?
to be open. I'm trying to be open and think open about this. Even though I'm an old, I'm still an old school guy. I was, my parents are from, by Hermoso, Tamaulipas, in el rancho. I'm old school. I was raised that way. But and you too, Lupe. And, come on with your parents. But
Oh,
you do have a. I think your mind is even more open than mine. I think you're
right.
like to the way it is now. In this new generation, but. For me, like for someone like after 6 months, dude, I don't know.
I think you should, if it's your place, you should be the one asking. She shouldn't be the one demanding. And if they're putting your back up against the wall, the answer should always be no.
Yeah, that's a
Next
good
question.
one.
I met a woman who lives in another state. Long distance relationships, yes or no?
Have you ever heard this one? Have you ever heard this one? But I'm gonna say it in Spanish, and you could translate because
Okay,
it
go
doesn't
for it.
make. Okay, amor de lejos, amor de pendejos.
It says a distant love is a stupid love.
Yeah, but it doesn't rhyme like in Spanish. But amor de lejos,
Okay,
amor
let
de
me ask you this.
pendejos.
If you find somebody that you like, somebody that you click with, it's also kind of stupid. It's kind of pendejo to think, oh, I'm going to find them in the next town over, or I'm going to find them at work or somewhere near me. Sometimes you find them where you find them, and if that's the person you like, that's the person you go with. My one advice is, it can't be long distance forever,
Nah.
because what happens is you guys see each other at your best. You're always going to be seeing them when they're in a good mood. They're happy to see you. You're not catching them when they got off of work and their coworker pissed them off, or you did something that put them in a bad mood. So it's always kind of like a mini vacation. So it doesn't really give you a true sense of what they are. Do you agree?
I agree. I agree. I mean, sooner or later, it's gonna be either or. Like the girl's moving into his town, or the guy is moving into where she lives. That's probably the best way to do it. That's what's gonna happen when we're in sooner or later,
Yeah, somebody's going to have to make the move.
and it
You have to
happens.
prioritize. Yeah, you have to prioritize who is probably the most stable. Like maybe if you own a house and they're renting, maybe they move. Sometimes certain people, like for example, I know I could handle living in another place. I don't know if this person could handle it, especially if they're really close to their family, or maybe they just aren't as open to new ideas and new things. Especially like I said, if they're so rooted in where they're at. I think you moving them, or you having to move where they are,
Well, I mean,
it's going to cause some issues.
either or, the girl or the guy, they could be really close to their family, or they have kids too, Lupe, from a previous marriage. There's a lot of situations, or their job, they have a stable job in that city. I mean, you're not gonna leave your job, but you're getting a good salary, and you're gonna move to another city where you're not gonna be making that money. It's gonna have to be that other person that lives in New York or whatever moving down here with you. Don't you think
So
so?
it's going to be who is the most stable,
Yeah.
uh, who has their life a little bit more together in order, and it can't be forever. It's got to be, once you guys have established and you figured out you really know this person. Because, like I said, if you're only seeing yourself on these little mini vacations, once you bring them back home, that mini vacation is over with, and you're getting that true person. You're getting that person who
Not only that,
you.
like far away relationships. I mean, hey, you got boys that night out, and then you have the girls' night out, and where were you at? And I called you, you didn't answer.
Yeah, you got to be
Too
really
much, man.
secure.
Yeah,
And let's just face it, sometimes people need somebody nearby, so things are going to happen. There might be a little bit of infidelity. There might be,
you
you
never
know,
know.
those
Hey,
those late night calls where you don't know where they were. So it can only work for so long. The final question, Diamante, says, my platonic friend never pays when we hang out. I brought up the issue, and she accused me of being cheap and of not being chivalrous. What are your thoughts?
Platonic friends. So you're talking about
Platonic friends, like
like
they've never made out. They're just friends, and he's always stuck
oh,
with the bill when they're out. Well, how do you feel about that?
well, I mean, if they're friends, if they're friends, just friends. That's it. There ain't no love. There ain't no friends with benefits here, right?
No friends with benefits, strictly
No,
platonic. That's the way the
not
question is being posed.
yeah, nada.
It doesn't
Okay,
say it
no,
doesn't say that they were at one time or whatever, but he says she never pays. When he accused her, when he brought up the issue, she said he's cheap and he's not being a man because he's not paying every time they go out.
I mean, I've always, I've always paid whether they're friends or not. I mean, depends how you were raised, Lupina. But I know nowadays, like if they're just a friend, Lupina, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's got to go back and forth. Look, you take me out to eat, I'll take you out to eat the next time. You pay drinks this time, I'll buy drinks the next time. It should be that way. But if it's a girl that you're dating, I think that the guy always. I mean, I was taught. I mean, me like I'm old school. Like
Okay, you're
I
changing the
pay.
answer. They're not dating.
Okay,
Let's get
so
to the
okay,
question.
no,
They're
so they're
not
not
dating.
dating. I got it. Okay, no, so no, back and forth, man. I mean, hey, she makes money too,
I'm with you. I have female friends, and we'll go out. We're strictly platonic,
right?
and 80% of the time I pay just because, like you said, I feel uncomfortable letting them pay.
Yeah,
But it
yeah,
does feel nice when they go into their pocket and say, no, 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 you pay all the
right.
time. We want to treat you.
So now
You don't
you're
want to
if they listen.
feel, yeah.
So they're listening to your podcast. You're telling them, listen, y'all better fucking pay next time for me.
You're like, listen, we're getting to that 80% now. Where's that 20% coming along? No, so
Yeah,
yeah, it's usually I do feel uncomfortable letting them pay, or sometimes the waiter or waitress will just hand you the bill,
yeah.
because you're the only guy at the table. So you just take it and you pay it, and
And you
you
feel
bite
bad
the
sometimes
bullet.
that no, sometimes the waiter will put it right there. They don't know, like I don't know who's gonna pay, so they put it right there, and then you feel so bad, like well I guess I'm gonna have to pay, and you there you are paying another meal. Like I mean, I don't think it's fair
Yeah,
to
and
right.
people get those alligator arms, or
Yeah,
nobody reaches for the thing. But yeah, no, I think if you're strictly platonic, I don't think you're cheap. I do think it's kind of rude of her to accuse him of being cheap, especially if every now and then it doesn't hurt you to whip out the credit card, or whip out, or at least say, what, I love it when the woman does that little fake when they go into her purse, even though they know you're not going to let them pay. They kind of do that little fake like they were going to pay, but
I let
but
them
you didn't
pay.
let them.
Let them pay, bro.
You don't
No,
you
because
don't
they're
you don't
waiting.
fall for the
Hey, they're
fake.
waiting for you. No, 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 don't worry about it. I got it. I got it.
Yeah, yeah. It's usually a fake move, but I still appreciate it. It's kind of like when you open a door for a woman and she gets in the car, and
Yeah,
then she reaches over to open your door just a little bit from the inside so you can get in.
right.
It's a nice little gesture. But anyway,
Yes, sir, yeah.
that puts you back. I'm going to let you off the hook. As we mentioned, this was our dating advice. We've taken these losses. We've taken these L's in love, these lessons in love, so you don't have to. This is when dancing, drinks leads to something more. We call it Noches de Perreo. Dating advice from El Diamante and from me, Lupe Contreras. What do you have going on this weekend? Obviously, there's a
Big
lull in
weekend.
the baseball action.
Yeah, not till the 4th of July weekend, man. That's the big weekend in Longview, Texas. But all this week, I haven't been to my gym lately, Lupina. And then, we're still working on the new gym that's coming up in Kingwood. Romark has boxed in a studio here in Kingwood. We're working on that.
You've got an early promotion, right? Sign up early and you get
Yeah,
some good
sign up
deals.
early. Yeah, sign up early. $100, unlimited classes at the Kingwood Boxing Studio. Raul Marquez Kingwood Boxing Studio, right in the heart of Kingwood, Texas. Is going to be a nice gym, almost 4,000 square feet. Boxing classes for everybody, and morning classes, evening classes, every day. We're going to start at 5 o'clock in the morning, all the way up till into the evening. Going to have classes in the morning, mid morning, then some evening classes. Kids, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 age don't matter. Adults, men, women, everybody, high school kids, middle school kids. I'm excited. I'm excited about that, Lupe.
Train with a champ, like a champ, and get fit without getting hit. I'm going to have a
Yeah,
very busy week. As I mentioned, I'm doing the Wilder fight.
that's
I'm going to be
right.
flying out to Wichita, Kansas on Wednesday. From Wichita, then I have to I fly back home, switch planes, and head on over to Little Rock, Arkansas for Legacy in the
Ah,
Making with the Destined Champions promotion. So I will be disappearing to a couple of places this upcoming
you're
weekend.
still
Does
there.
this
You're
conclude the
alive.
podcast? I'm on fire, my friend.
I
I'm
know
on
you are,
fire.
bro.
As we mentioned, we're a little bit late, but we promised you a podcast every single Monday. You can see, look at the face on Diamante. He looks, burned up like a
I'm about to crash
chicharrón.
out,
He's
man. My
half
wife.
hung. Oh, you haven't even showered?
No. I showered. No, I said no. I already showered. I showered before I came on the show, man, because I needed this. I was tired. I was hoping it would wake me up, from this, the
And it
weekend
just
in
made you
Newark, and
sleepier, right? It made you
made me
sleepier.
sleepier, man. And man, I feel sorry for my wife tonight because I'm gonna be snoring, bro.
We've committed to you. Like and subscribe. You can go to YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts at Punchy Show. Keep those words together. We come up. As we mentioned, we are the #1 boxing podcast originating from Houston, Texas, being conducted by a former 1992 U.S. Olympian and hosted by a fledgling ring announcer who disappears from time to time on the weekends. That does it for our podcast. Thank you for joining us. Raul Marquez has a burgeoning baseball superstar to go, play with, and he's got a hot young wife to snore right next to all night long tonight.
That's
This
it.
is Raul Marquez is Punchy with Lupe Contreras, and we are out.